These are all the same thing right here. The torus energy field that emanates from the human body, the Sri Yantra, the Merkaba, and the aura. We're all talking about the same exact energy field. These energy fields exist with you right now. You just don't realize it. A lot of you don't realize that these energy fields, and some of you do realize it, but you may not have known that this can be the key to tapping into manifestation, because these energy fields have the capability of quantum entangling with the universal consciousness through conscious thought that synchronizes with the universal consciousness and actually draws things to you, which we're going to talk about. If you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, then you would have the key to the universe, Nikola Tesla. I'm going to show you this video here, then we're going to get into the law of attraction, and we're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to answer some questions. Amazing stuff. these are really amazing equations that are leading to not only beyond the Merkaba, but also the Stargate travel, which is another thing that the Merkaba is capable of doing. When you go into the Emerald Tablets, you discover that Thoth had traveled to a Stargate and went through the Stargate using the 369 technology embedded in the Merkaba and in the, which obviously emanates from this flower of life. It's really amazing stuff. So this presentation that I'm showing you guys is a very long one. It's probably 6 hours. I'm gonna get to now another area that I wanna get to on it so that we can talk about the Merkaba a little bit more and the meditation and the manifestation aspect. I wanna talk first, I'm gonna talk first as I'm looking for that. I'm gonna talk about the manifestation process. So one of the things that we don't realize as sentient beings is how we are already manifesting things into reality on a consistent basis every single day. And a lot of people want to manifest things into their life. They want to manifest their own realities. They want to manifest the things that they desire and need. And a lot of people come to me all the time and say, it's not happening. Why is this not happening for me? And I said, well, you're manifesting things every single day. Have you looked into things that you are manifesting? And like, well, what things am I manifesting? So I break it down for them in a way that I can make them understand. So I'll start off with this. For example, this mouse pad, okay? So this is a mouse pad. This is a wireless mouse pad. I think it's a Kensington or something like that. Logitech wireless mouse. I like the track balls because they prevent me from having to move my arm around a lot. So think about this for a second. This was a thought in somebody's mind. The person that thought about this said, you know what? I'd like to create a mouse pad hardware, a mouse hardware that interacts with a computer that doesn't require a person to move their arm around a lot because that can wear out the joints, that they can keep their hands stationary and comfortable, and they can just move their fingers and tap their thumb and their index finger. And they'll do all the same functions but without any movement, wearing out their joints if they're on a computer for many, many hours. So he thought about this in his mind. So what happened was those conscious light waves left his skull and went into space-time. This is why almost all thoughts or ideas are probably not original thoughts or ideas. Because we have the capability of sending and receiving information wirelessly, when you get on the same exact frequency of information that already exists in space-time as another frequency, when you match it, you download it into your body. And then if you're fortunate enough, you discern that information, and then you come up with what you call an idea or an invention. In this particular case, this person came up with this idea in their mind. Now this mouse went to a consciousness platform. It's on an etheric platform now, existing and really here, existing, based off what we know about light waves going into space-time and the fact that they're conscious, and the frequency that thought about this exists now permanently in space-time. What happens next is you take that concept of this etherical platform object and you bring it into 2 dimensions. How? By taking it on a piece of paper and drawing it, or also putting it inside of a computer into what they call a CAD designer, computer-assisted design. It may look 3-dimensional on the screen, but it's still only in 2 dimensions on a computer screen, 2 dimensions on a piece of paper. So now you've taken it from the consciousness platform into a 2-dimensional platform, and then you give it over to an engineer. That engineer takes that 2-dimensional platform and all your notes and then creates a 3-dimensional object that I can pick up and maneuver through the XYZ axis of 369 that you just saw in that Nikola Tesla video through space-time. XYZ axis, you see? So that's how this became a reality. This became a manifested reality from light waves that came out of somebody's brain, out of somebody's skull. This is how we manifest things on a very simple understanding level. Everything that exists in the 3rd dimension that's quote unquote man-made started off as a conscious thought on the conscious platform, and then manifested its way into a 3-dimensional reality that became a chair, became a microphone, became a laptop, a camera, a cell phone, a mouse. And we do this every single day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We manifest on a consistent basis. If we didn't, there would be nothing here but a bunch of people walking around butt naked, okay? So we're manifesting all the time. Understanding that we are already doing it, there's levels to the game. There's levels to manifestation. Now, there's the manifestation that you can do through the Merkaba meditation, where the first part is it's a step-by-step process. Now that we understand how the light waves work, let's go into understanding how the law of attraction works. Let's go into understanding how we synchronize with the universal consciousness. So Einstein has a theory of relativity. And in his theory of relativity, he actually shows, or science shows, what looks like a planet in space. Then you have a grid around this planet, and you see the grid's bent. It's warped around the planet. Because why? Because bodies in space-time, including your human body, your avatar body, warp space-time, okay? And because of that, that warping of space-time, we create what we call a gravitational field. Gravity is actually a warped space, and things fall down that warped space towards the object of mass. So basically, when you've got a comet or an asteroid flying by the sun, right, and the sun's got this huge area of warped space, and it's flying by, it gets hit by, or it gets grabbed by that dip, and it falls into that dip, and it starts falling towards the sun or the planet or whatever it is, because it hit that gravitational field, and now it's falling towards it. Well, take the planet out, take the sun out of that area, put your consciousness in that spot, and envision your consciousness warping the matrix reality of space-time around it. Your consciousness is literally warping space-time. Now, as you go into your Merkaba meditation, where you actually are meditating, you start off, you don't have to be in a lotus position. That's something, you could be sitting in a chair. You could be laying on your back. You can even be in a shower. But you start off envisioning in your mind. First thing you do is you empty your mind. And how you do that is you see your mind as a bowl. I use this every single day. I see my mind as a bowl inside of my mind. And in that bowl are all these things, all of my thoughts and everything else that is going on. And I see a hand going in and taking out things out of this bowl little by little. And as it's happening, even right now while I'm doing it, I can feel it and I can see it because I've done it so many times. I can see the bowl getting empty just by doing this. Even though I'm talking, the other things that were taking my other like distractions that were already in me are being taken away right now as I'm doing this. I can feel it happening. As the bowl gets empty, it usually gets almost empty. It's very hard to get the bowl completely empty. I'll tell you that right now. But almost empty is just as good. The next thing I do is I envision a star tetrahedron. I envision the bottom and the top inside the bowl, and I envision them counter-rotating. And then I see them spinning faster and faster and faster and faster. And I step inside this counter-rotating tetrahedron in the meditation. While I'm inside the counter-rotating tetrahedron, which is the Merkaba, I'm now focusing my light energy, my conscious energy waves on the object I'm looking to manifest. In this particular case, I'll give you an example. You heard me talk about this before. Some of you maybe, maybe not. A car. There was a gentleman who was talking to me about a car, and his car was breaking down, and it was on its last leg, and he couldn't last too much longer. And he'd been trying to manifest a new car and hadn't been able to. And I said to him, I said, well, what kind of car are you trying to manifest? And he said, something in the $15,000 to $20,000 range, okay? And so I said, that's not how it works. What car is it? You need to know everything about the object or the thing you're trying to manifest. You need to know the shape, the size, the color, the style. I said, you need to know the car. Have you gone and test driven any cars? No, I said, you got to go and test drive the cars. Test drive cars in your price range. When you get to the car that you love the most in your price range, that's the car that you consciously claim. You claim it consciously. Then you research that particular vehicle. You need to know the color, the wheels. Are they alloy or are they steel? What kind of tires does it have? What's the interior like? Is it leather? Is it plush? Does it have a DVD player? Does it have a CD player? Does it have an aux cord? Does it run Bluetooth? Is there a navigation or no navigation? All the things about the car. Is it dual exhaust, single exhaust? All this information, the sport model, the family model. You need to know everything about this car, under the hood, behind the trunk, everything. You got to know it all. And then while you're in the Merkaba meditation, where you're breathing in 10 seconds, exhaling 10 seconds, breathing in 10 seconds, exhaling 10 seconds, sitting inside the counter-rotating tetrahedron, which is your Merkaba, you focus now on this particular object. For this particular case, for argument's sake, it's this vehicle. You've already done the research on the car. You've already consciously claimed it. You've already know everything about the vehicle. Now in the Merkaba meditation, here's a secret. You're not thinking about it, getting the car. You already own it. In the Merkaba meditation, you own what you're trying to manifest. So now you're in the car during the Merkaba meditation. You're driving the car. The first thing people do when they get a new car typically is they drive it around and they go to friends and family and say, hey, look at my new car. So you do that. You drive to a friend's house. You drive to a family's house. Show them the car as if you already own it. The conscious reality from here is more real than experiencing it in the third dimension. The multidimensional capabilities of the mind are more real than the third dimension, what we call reality. You have it real there in the etherical form, which is where all manifestations start, in the consciousness platform. That will automatically, as you progress through this process I'm teaching you, move into a true reality third dimensional platform, okay? So you've got this, you're in the car, you're driving it, you're going to friends and family, you're showing it off, you wash it, maybe you wash the wheels, put some armor oil on the wheels or whatever. You actually enjoy this vehicle. You see yourself pulling up to the house in the car, whether you have a garage or a carport or a parking lot, whatever, and getting out and taking a look back at it, maybe even snap a picture of it with your cell phone. You own this vehicle, and you do this over and over and over again. Now what's going to happen? What's going to happen is when you come out of these kinds of meditations, this is where the discernment part, remember I told you 7 seconds that things are happening ahead of us? This is where you need to be on top of that wave through conscious thought and research and understanding how this realm works. You're on top of the wave. So when you come out of this meditation, what's going to begin to happen is things are going to start happening for you. Doors and windows are going to start opening. Opportunities are going to lay themselves out to you that you weren't even aware were going to happen. But because you were discerning them fast enough, you can jump through those open doors and jump through those open windows. The biggest problem that people have with manifesting things into their reality is they think that they're going to go from the thought straight to the thing. Doesn't work that way. Sometimes it does, but a lot of the times it's other opportunities that lead to getting or acquiring that thing or that person or that loved one or whatever the case may be, whatever you're trying to manifest. It could be a physical or a non-physical thing, okay? In this case, we're talking about a car. So for example, if I'm coming out of my Merkaba meditation about manifesting this vehicle and I'm driving it, I'm owning it and everything else, and now what's gonna happen is opportunity is gonna come from my down payment. A new deal, a new transaction, a new sale is gonna happen. That's an opportunity with a company or a friend that's gonna put me in a position to earn some additional revenue that I can utilize for the down payment on this car, or maybe to be able to just afford the monthly payment without stressing myself out. I have to be able to discern these opportunities and these things as they arise, because if I don't, I can blow it. Give you a quick analogy. A guy gets out in his boat, goes out fishing, doesn't tell anybody he's going out fishing. He just decides, I'm gonna go out, great day, I'm gonna go out fishing by myself. He's out there fishing, his boat capsizes, starts to sink. He's on his little safety thing, safety vest. He's trying his best to stay afloat. He's kicking. A couple of days later, a boat comes by, sees him, throws out a life vest. The guy goes, no, I've been praying and praying. God's gonna save me. The guy goes, wow, pulls off in that boat, leaves. The guy's out there now, another couple of weeks go by, he's almost dead. A boat comes by, throws out the life raft to him. Now I'm not getting on. God's gonna save me. I've been praying every single day. God's gonna save me. You see, he's on the bottom of that wave. He don't see what's happening here. Boat drives off. Now he's on his last, like a couple more days go by. He's all sunburned. He's starving. He's hungry. He can't drink the salt water. He's going down. He's barely got his head above water. A boat tries to save him. He goes, no, God's going to, guy drowns. He goes to heaven. He gets to heaven and he says, God, hey, well, I was drowning. I was praying and everything. Why didn't you come save me? He says, you idiot, I sent you 3 boats. Okay? You have to have discernment. You can't wait for the wave to crash over you. You have to be on top of that wave. So you have to see the opportunities as they arise, and you can't have so much tunnel vision that you can't see them. You have to jump on those opportunities because they're going to put you in a position to acquire the things you're trying to manifest. It doesn't typically go from thought to reality instantaneously. There's sometimes a process you have to go through to get to the end game. So you're going to do that. You're also going to take a picture, if this is a vehicle, for example, take a picture of that car in real life, put pictures up where you can see them. Make it your screensaver on your phone, make it your screensaver on your laptop. Put a picture in your bathroom on the window, if that's the vehicle that you're trying to manifest. Every day you're focusing on it, you're envisioning it, you're thinking about it, you're doing your Merkaba meditation 15 to 20 minutes a day, sometimes 30 minutes, depending on how good you feel or how much time you have. And you're going to now be able to eventually see opportunities arise and open up for you to be able to utilize that through the law of attraction. So what's happening is, as you're in this meditative state, as you're in that Merkaba meditative state, your consciousness is quantum entangling with the universal consciousness. You're warping the ether of space-time, which is where all things manifest into reality. And the things that you need are going to start falling directly toward you because your consciousness gravitational field, so to speak, is warped. And the things you need to allow you to achieve these manifestations are now falling directly into your life every single day. When you're operating in the mind state of abundance and manifestation, everything should happen for you at will. Not saying that you should be a multi-billionaire walking around, but all your needs should always be met. One of the biggest problems that we have is a lot of people use prayer as a technique to try to make things happen. And when you're praying, you're trying to cast a spell. I mean, you may not want to admit it, but that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to cast a spell to alter reality to your benefit, in your favor. The problem is we don't know how to pray over here. Our prayers fall on deaf ears. They don't actually synchronize with the universal consciousness. Why? Because everything we learned today was all about high energy, high power, high frequency. Prayers are low frequency because they're usually done in the mode of begging, hoping, and wishing. And in that mindset mode is a low frequency, which, remember earlier I told you, the oscillations are very slow and wide over your DNA strand, giving you low power, low energy, and you can't quantum entangle with the universal consciousness when you're at a low frequency. That's why a lot of prayers don't work. You see people praying. Trillions of prayers are going up every single day, and the state of the world continues to degrade in certain areas and in certain things. Why? Because the prayers aren't being done in the right manner. Does prayer work? Yes, prayer does work. If you understand that the power of the divinity is inside of you, and because the divine energy, the spark that created everything and all there is inside of your body, in every individual atom, the power is inside of you. You have the understanding that you can command that power over this realm. Not saying that you're walking around with a magic wand creating planets, but a certain aspect of you is an aspect of the main one universal consciousness or God, whatever you want to call it. And because of that, a certain amount of that power and control and dominion is inside your body. You have to go to inner space first. And when you understand that, you command things into existence. You traveling from point A to point B, you don't beg and pray and hope that you get there safely. I command that I arrive safely to my destination. I command that all my needs be met. When you have food in front of you, I don't beg and hope and wish that the food's good because that's a low frequency. It's not going to do anything for me. If it's a healthy plate of food, first of all, then I will command that this food is good for my body. If it's a plate of food that's a bunch of junk and garbage and GMOs and fat that's going to clog my arteries, I'm not going to say nothing because I'm not stupid. Okay? We got to also be, we can't, praying over food that's going to kill you anyways is a waste of energy. But I say all this to say, you have to understand there's a process through this. So the process is understanding how light waves are conscious, understanding how they work, understanding the power that's inside of your body, understanding that we're harnessing a divine energy source through our correlates of consciousness, our neophallium, our magnetite crystals in our brain, which is allowing us to animate this avatar body and use its multidimensional functions. We're now focusing on the things we want to manifest and bring into our life, and we're going into a manifestation meditation where we're actually going into a Merkaba, and we're focusing on the object that or the thing, physical or non-physical, that we want to experience in our life in real time in this third dimension, and we're living it or experiencing it as it's already been done. That's the key word. It is done. The key phrase, it is done. When you understand it from that perspective, now you're moving in energy, you're moving with force and power, and the universe understands power to power. It doesn't understand weakness at all. Weakness from here and hope and help me, that doesn't synchronize. It does you no good. You don't create that warped space-time. You don't create that warped field. Energy and power is what it understands. And when you come in with divine energy and divine power, knowing the true worth and the energy and divineness inside of you, and then the final key part to this, to make it all come together, is you must be operating in unconditional love, not only for yourself, but for others. You must be, in my opinion, eating high energetic foods. It doesn't mean you have to become a vegan, but if you're in the manifestation process, trying to bring things into your reality, to me, the best thing to do is eat energetic foods and not foods that are low in energy. Remember, DNA stores memories. So we talked about this earlier. So if DNA is storing memories for you, it's storing memories for everything on the planet, whatever has DNA in it. So if you're eating something that's been tortured, the torture and the fear and the anguish that's inside of that particular entity before you put it into your body, guess what? There's still DNA in there. And that DNA is now getting what? It's broadcasting a signal, a low frequency signal over yours. So you're thinking, I'm operating in all this power, got all this energy going on, I'm doing everything right, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And but you just ate a whole slab of something that just brought your energy field down. You didn't even know that was the one thing that you were missing. And some people go, well, this guy's eating all this stuff, and he's doing this and he's doing that wrong, and he's got all this stuff. Well, guess what, guys? Michael Jordan is a great basketball player. And there's guys on his team that made it to the NBA through that gauntlet to get to the NBA. They weren't even good enough to get on the court and play, and they were on his team, and they got rings. There's levels to how some people are tapped in, and some people just aren't tapped in. Some people got to work at it more than others. Michael Jordan can gamble all night, go hang out, party, and then come to a game and score 40 points. The other guy, if he did that, he would be kicked off the team. He wouldn't even be able to tie his shoes. There's levels to the game, and because you if you're not a master at manifesting that level, you've got to work at it. You've got to put in the hard work. You've got to do the fundamentals, as we call it in basketball. You got to work on your fundamentals every single day to get to that level and achieve those things. Okay, so that's my talk for today. I hope you got a lot out of this. There's one thing I want to show you on my screen, which I want everybody to look up. Where did it go? It just disappeared on me because I guess I pressed play from the beginning. Let me take it back. That's 936 hertz. Let me get back to it real quick. I want everybody to go and go to YouTube and find meditative tracks based on this frequency when you go into your meditation. I want you to meditate at this frequency. We're almost there. Let's see. This is very important because this frequency generates movement. And this is a key part in the Merkaba meditation, is the meditation of the 963 hertz. 963 hertz, the vibration of this frequency creates rotating movement. And remember, you're going to be in a counter-rotating Merkaba. And this is the frequency that you want to be in when you go into your meditation. We don't have the time to do a live meditation today. Maybe we'll come back on with Neil and do one another time. But this is the frequency that you want to be in during your meditation. And you want to breathe in 10 seconds, exhale 10 seconds. Breathe in 10 seconds, exhale 10 seconds. Imagine the star tetrahedron counter-rotating, spinning faster and faster. You're inside of it in your meditative state, and you're owning what you're trying to manifest. It's already yours. You've claimed it. You're operating in unconditional love, service to others, eating energetic foods, and you are basically now in a great process of discerning information coming into your life so that you can actually create your reality by jumping on opportunities as they arise, making sure that you stay on target towards your manifestation goal. All right, so I'll open up for a couple of questions, and I got to go get on another live. So I'll try to answer a few right here. Here goes one here from CJ Peck. How could sound frequencies aid in health and wellness in your opinions? Okay, very good question, CJ. So a long time ago, I came up with an idea, and I didn't know that it had already been done until somebody at Gaia told me about it. I came up with the understanding that all atoms vibrate at a specific frequency. So all atoms have a specific frequency that they vibrate at. And when I learned that, I was like, wow, that's interesting. That means that a disease in your body, like a cancerous tumor, has atoms in it. Those atoms inside the tumor are vibrating at a specific frequency as well. So I was like, what if we created a frequency that matched it and canceled it, just like the famous singer that can match her voice to the oscillating frequency of the atoms in a wine glass and make it shatter. That's real. That's happened, and people still do it today. Matter of fact, you can download an app on your phone that picks up the frequency if you tap on a glass. And once it gets in your phone, you can play it back and make the glass shatter. You don't have to sing anymore. So I realized that was interesting because everything around the glass shattered, but the hand that was holding the glass didn't shatter. Other things around the glass didn't shatter. Only the glass shattered, which means that by using frequency technology, you can literally attack a cancerous tumor or any kind of tumor, malignant tumor even, and destroy it without damaging any surrounding tissue. Something now more recently I discovered, there's a machine that was looked at in the, a couple of decades ago, I guess it was, something similar to like a Strife machine or something like a Strife machine or Strive machine, something like that. But anyway, it operated on frequencies that canceled out the atomic frequency of material in the body for healing purposes. So that's just one aspect of it. So frequency is going to definitely be utilized in the future as a healing technology. It was used in ancient Egypt. If you look at the bent pyramid in ancient Egypt, it wasn't bent like the mainstream says, oh, they couldn't remember the angle or they couldn't keep the angle going, so they bent it. No. There's a whole video I have on this. The bent pyramid was a hospital. Okay, and inside the bent pyramid, there's these chambers, these resonating chambers. Some were filled with different types of fluid. A person would go in there that's sick, and they would lay on this table, and a person with this giant gong type hammer would hit these chambers and cause them to resonate. The physician would be at the top looking down, and these resonating frequencies would then create an X-ray image of the person's body, and he would be able to see, or she would be able to see what was wrong with the person. That's what the bent pyramid is. It's a hospital. It's a X-ray laboratory, so to speak, okay? We have here, somebody said, okay, we got that already. Okay, Janine says, does the top and bottom rotate separate directions or both counterclockwise? They operate in separate directions, Janine. So one's rotating this way and the other one's rotating the other way. So you got counter-rotating tetrahedron, rotating in opposite directions. You envision it in your mind. Just start off seeing them both starting to spin in opposite directions at the same exact time. Once it starts, it's very easy to do. And you just envision yourself stepping inside of that star tetrahedron, rotating tetrahedron. Try to get this 963 hertz frequency going during the meditation. Another thing might happen is that you'll feel like you're taking off. When I did this meditation at the Egyptian Mystery School, we did a 20-minute meditation, and people actually felt like they took off and left and went to other places, other dimensions. So it's something that I highly recommend. On Guy, you mentioned, anonymous attendee says, on Guy, you mentioned the Merkaba meditation available online. Is that available? Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. I had it up on my site, and then the video that I sourced it from was deleted. So I'm gonna create my own new video. That's why I didn't even know it was gone until like about a week ago. Somebody said, hey man, this video, nobody could find it. I was like, really? It's on my site. When I went to my website, went to that page, it was gone. The video was, blacked out. So I'm gonna create a brand new Merkaba meditation video, and I'm gonna put it on forbiddenknowledge.com with the number 4, forbiddenknowledge.com. And I guarantee you that new Merkaba meditation video will be up most likely by tomorrow evening. It'll be on forbiddenknowledge.com, and I'll post about it that it's up. And that if you saw the live that I did with the webinar that I did on Portal to Ascension, you now can go and do the Merkaba meditation just by following my guided Merkaba meditation, which will be by tomorrow evening, okay? And I'll answer one more. Ken Gilmore, is quantum walking the same as astral travel? Great question, Ken. I really do believe that it's extremely similar. Astral travel is when I've only been fortunate enough to do it a few times, you feel this pop, this sensation of this pop, where you actually feel your spirit body leaving the avatar body, and it free floats, and you can turn back and look at yourself. And you can actually travel, you can guide it to travel. Now, the thing is very difficult, even Thoth talks about this, to be able to go too far of a distance and make it back. It's almost as if some type of cosmic law or fear or something brings you back and snaps you back into the body. It takes a while to become a master of astral travel in that spirit body. Thoth also talks about something that I've been practicing and had been practicing for years, which is a form of remote viewing. Now that's very interesting because that's more of the quantum walking style, where it's mind outside of body, outside of time, and you're walking through space, through dimensions, and even to other locations using conscious thought and sending your mind out and not the astral part of the body. So the spirit body stays in the avatar, but your consciousness flees and goes, and then goes to wherever you want. So that's part of remote viewing. So if you look up remote viewing, study remote viewing. I was trained in remote viewing by Major Ed Dames. Some of you may know him, some of you may not, but he teaches remote viewing, and I was a student of his for a few years. And so that's why I learned remote viewing. So I prefer the remote viewing aspect of it just because I feel like I have a little bit more control over where I want to go and what I want to do with remote viewing versus the astral travel, even though it's still a process that needs to be mastered, okay? So look, thanks everybody. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for following me. You can find me on forbiddenknowledge.com. You can also, you can actually get a 3-day subscription on forbiddenknowledge.tv with the number 4. It's a conscious streaming platform. And you can also get my mobile app on any app store, the Forbidden Knowledge mobile app. And I have several videos of several different types of meditations that are available to you on forbiddenknowledge.tv. So if you go to forbiddenknowledge.tv, or you can type in forbiddenknowledge.tv, there's meditation videos in there, a meditation section, and you can get through some meditations, some guided meditations through there as well, okay? I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.